Hello, I'm Miss Foster, and this is my favourite book, the book that has influenced me. It's The Colour Purple by Alice Walker. I am deputy head, as you might know. I'm also an English and drama teacher, and The Colour Purple is one of the books that I've always enjoyed teaching because it makes such a difference to people's lives. It really affects them in the way that they think. The Colour Purple is about a girl called Celie. It's set in the American South, Deep South, and it's at a time when there was a lot of racism. It was inherent in society at that time. Celie is a young girl when we first meet her, and when we first see her, she's pregnant. She's been raped by her father. She has 2 children by her father, and then she gets sold off to a man that's only ever called Mr. in the book. She only ever calls him Mr. And he comes along wanting to marry her sister, who's much prettier than she is. The father refuses to give the sister up, and he takes Celie instead. Her children are taken away from her. She doesn't see them. Her sister, who's the person she loves most in the world, gets taken away from her. But before her sister gets taken away, she teaches Celie how to read and write, which is the thing that really saves Celie's life. The whole book is written as a series of letters. It's Celie writing to God about her feelings, and there are also letters from her sister back to Celie. I'm not going to tell you too much about that because I don't want to ruin the story for you. As Celie grows up, she becomes the stepmother to all of Mr's children, and she has the most dreadful life, awful, awful life. She's treated like a slave in her own home, and until she meets someone called Shug Avery, who's a nightclub singer and a friend of Mr's. And that's when she really begins to grow in confidence about herself, learn about life, and learn about love. One of my favourite characters in the book is a woman called Sophia, who's a very strong woman until society starts to beat her down. And this is an extract from the book where Sophia has gone to work for the mayor's wife. And the mayor's wife is a white woman who is completely useless and relies on Sophia for everything. And she gets bought a car. And so she gets this car and she doesn't get any lessons, and she says to Sophia that she's going to drive Sophia home because Sophia hasn't seen her family or her children for a whole year, and this is such a fantastic thing for her. So she says, well, after a while she got the hang of it, more or less. Then she really get it. Then one day when we come home from riding, she say to me, "I'm going to drive you home," just like that. "Home?" I asked. "Yes," she say, "home. You ain't been home or seen your children in a while," she say. "Ain't that right?" I say, "Yes, ma'am. It been 5 years." She say, "That's a shame. You just go get your things right now. Here it is, Christmas. Go get your things. You can stay all day." "For all day I don't need nothing but what I got on," I say. "Fine," she say, "fine. Well, get in." "Well," says Sophia, "I was so used to sitting up there next to her teaching her how to drive that I just naturally clammed in the front seat." She stood outside on her side of the car, clearing her throat. Finally she say, "Sophia," with a little laugh, "this is the South." "Yes, ma'am," I say. She clear her throat, laugh some more. "Look where you sitting," she say. "I'm sitting where I always sit," I say. "That's the problem," she say. "Have you ever seen a white person and a coloured sitting side by side in a car when one of them wasn't showing the other one how to drive it or clean it?" I got out the car, opened the back door and clammed in. She sat down up front. Off us travelled down the road, Miss Millie hair blowing all out the window. "It's real pretty country out this way," she say, when we hit the Marshall country road coming toward Odessa's house. "Yes, ma'am," I say. Then us pull into the yard and all the children come crowding round the car. Nobody told 'em I was coming, so they don't know who I is, except the oldest 2. They fall on me and hug me. And then all the little ones start to hug me too. I didn't think they even noticed I was sitting in the back of the car. Odessa and Jack come out after I was out, so they didn't see it. Us all stand round kissing and hug each other, Miss Millie just watching. Finally she lean out the window and say, Sophia, you only got the rest of the day. I'll be back to pick you up at 5 o'clock. The children was all pulling me into the house, so sort of over my shoulder I say, yes, ma'am, and I thought I heard her drive off. But 15 minutes later, Marion says, that white lady's still out there. Maybe she's going to wait to take you back, said Jack. Maybe she's sick, say Odessa. You always say how sickly they is. I go out to the car, say Sophia, and guess what the matter is? The matter is she don't know how to do nothing but go forward, and Jack and Odessa's yard too full of trees for that. Sophia, she say, how you back this thing up? I lean over the car window and try to show her which way to move the gears, but she flustered, and all the children and Odessa and Jack all standing around the porch watching her. I go round on the other side, try to explain with my head poked through that window. She's stripping gears aplenty by now, plus her nose red, and she looked mad and frustrated both. I climb in the back seat, lean over the back of the front, steady, trying to show her how to operate the gears. Nothing happened. Finally the car stopped making any sound. Engine dead. Don't worry, I say, Odessa's husband Jack will drive you home. That's his pickup right there. Oh, she say, I couldn't ride in a pickup with a strange coloured man. I'll ask Odessa to squeeze in too, I say. That would give me a chance to spend a little time with the children. But she say, no, I don't know her neither. So it ended up with me and Jack driving her back home in the pickup, then Jack driving me to town to get a mechanic, and at 5 o'clock I was driving Miss Millie's car back to her house. I spent 15 minutes with my children. And she's been going on for months about how ungrateful I is. White folks is a miracle of affliction, say Sophia. The colour purple, it'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry. It's coming to a library near you soon.